Coming up on today's show, 2024 is just around the corner, and there brings some big changes to Walt Disney World. That's today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome to episode number 434 of Traveling with the Mouse. My name is John. I am going to be your host. I am joined today by Adam.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, Adam? As I understand, you have a trip that's just around the corner as well.
I do. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Kwanzaa.
We just counted down.
Yeah, we missed all that, but we're back. Hope you had a good one.
I'm going to say the end of 2023 for Disney was quite the busy one, it seems.
Busy crowds.
It would have been nice if we could have had like boots on the ground, so to speak, for this sort of thing a little bit. Although you have gone during Christmas week in the past, but I don't think there were anything like the last 2 years what we saw reported.
Yeah, actually last year, because of the crazy weather, there wasn't that crowded at all on Christmas. And then maybe later in the week, as people were able to actually get down there, that's when it got busier.
And two, there was still a little bit of a hangover from COVID.
Probably. Yeah. I was there on Christmas the last 2 years, actually. And, not as bad. Of course, this year, weather was better. And
I was going to say, not a literal hangover. Although that could have been true, too.
Possibly. Although COVID's still a thing, so is the flu. But it's not like not going to stop anybody anymore.
Well, what I was going to say is travel. Gosh, I mean, I feel like no matter where I go.
Busy.
Yeah. I mean, everything's busier than it used to be. Just driving down the street.
That's true.
It's just crazy.
We were stuck inside for so long, and now we're desperate to get out.
Some people are. I mean, like I said, I've found myself quite a few times quoting Dwight from The Office.
Needing a new plague.
Yes. There's too many. No, I'll start with there's too many people on this earth.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's more than have ever been, I guess.
Or it depends on where you are. There's probably a lot more in the areas that we live, maybe. I don't know. Disney World definitely seems that way when you have multiple attractions that were, 100
triple-digit waits.
100 triple-digit waits, 100-minute pluses, easy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then Genie Plus was selling out like crazy this past week.
Right.
So to give you an example, this would have been, December the 30th, I think. Yeah. That morning, like first thing, right? The waits for Rise of the Resistance and Avatar, 190 for Rise of the Resistance, which it had hit plenty of times before, but 205 for Avatar, just like right out the gate for Flight of Passage.
Mm-hmm.
The day before that, though, what was crazy is I saw a post, 330 minutes for standby.
Right. I did see that one too the other day.
How long is the park open?
I know.
Mean, how many hours is Animal Kingdom open?
Because 5.5 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be your entire day.
And my question is, who sees that? Like when it's like 300 minutes, and they actually get in the line and cause it to go up to 330. I mean, who sees that and says, you know what? Let's get in line.
Right. Let's get in line. I've heard about you can poop in the corner in the dark. So.
I was actually just thinking about that. I was like, with a weight like that, there's probably a big pile of.
Yeah, that is one big pile.
Not to borrow a line from Jeff Goldblum.
We quote Jurassic Park a lot.
Well, we quote a few things a lot.
Yes.
So that is craziness beyond what I think I've personally ever looked at or witnessed. I mean, would you say the same?
I mean, it's pretty rough, yeah. And they're supposedly having the limit, right? So what is it? What was it before? I mean, I know Magic Kingdom was sold out on Christmas Day, at least. capacity. I know Genie Plus, of course, we mentioned that. I should go back and verify this, but in our last episode, maybe I predicted it would hit 39 because over Thanksgiving, I think 35 was the peak price. But of course, it went up again for Christmas, 39. I know earlier in the year we were teasing, like, not, I would say half joking that it would hit 50, which thankfully it didn't, but we're getting awfully close.
Well, it's like, give it another year.
Yeah, one more year, it'll probably hit 50. So, but $39 a person is a little crazy. I'm kind of glad I didn't go this year for Christmas because it's just,
it would have been pretty miserable, I think. I'm really interested to hear what kind of feedback you get from the people that were actually there. Because I feel like some of the people that go there during this time period, they just kind of expect it. Maybe they just find other ways to make the most of it. But
part of it is just enjoying the season, maybe. Yeah,
maybe. But you're not going to ride much at all. You're definitely not going to complete a challenge if you wanted to.
Yeah. You got to fork over for Genie Plus, and then you got to know how to use it to actually get.
Well, even then, I wondered if you could get enough. Utilize it enough.
I think you could. I mean, you won't get as much done as on a quiet day, but
yeah. But on this would have been on Thursday the 28th. Okay, this is what I got a screenshot for on this one.
Right.
There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, there's tons of them that are in triple digits. Let's put it that way. At least 5 at that point in time of that day had waits of 3 hours or longer.
Crazy.
And Flight of Passage at that point was 4.5 hours. Wow. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a good ride, but
that's what I was about to say. I was like, can you think of any attraction that's worth 4.5 hour wait? Even at Disney? Would you wait 4.5 hours for Guardians?
No. Because I know how to not do that, so I would not do that.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, if there was no virtual queue, like
if there was no lightning lane or virtual queue,
right?
No, I wouldn't do it.
You still wouldn't. See, that's like your favorite ride there.
I would rope drop it or, wait till the very end of the day, but that would be long too.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't do it.
All these rides, can you imagine waiting, let's see, can you imagine waiting 110 minutes for Dinosaur?
No. I think during COVID, I may have waited 45 when there was no standby only, and that was miserable.
Or 180 for Remy?
No, I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't wait over an hour for anything.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Anymore. 30 minutes is like my top, that would be my limit for anything.
But if you're Disney, doesn't this end up looking like you are doing everything you can to make as much money as you possibly can on these days and get as many people as you can in there, regardless of how good the experience is? Because there cannot be an enjoyable experience for most of the people that are there. There's no way.
They just know the crowds are going to come no matter what. So it's the same thing of, if anybody out there remembers the Roller Coaster Tycoon game, when it starts raining, you just charge the max price for umbrellas because everyone's going to buy them.
Or you charge for the bathroom.
Yeah, that's the most brutal thing. Charging for the bathroom.
Or you take it away.
Right. But yeah, that's the same concept of okay, it's raining, let's just charge, $50 for umbrellas or whatever, because they need them, or else they're in here. What else are they going to do? So, yeah, that same thing. The crowds are going to come no matter what, so we're going to make them pay.
Right. So that was kind of a little bit of how we ended the year, Disney-wise. I'm really interested, though, in the coming weeks, though, to see how this, see if we can get some reviews and some stories about how it actually went.
Do you mean the future, Conan?
In the year 2024.
In the year 2024.
You know what's funny is back when he was doing that, it was like the year 2000 or 5 years away.
Yeah,
or less.
I know, right?
When we first started doing that.
That was one of the best things. That was so good back in the day. When he did that.
Yes. Conan was probably my favorite of the late night hosts, really.
During the 90s, during the 90s, he was the most innovative, I think.
He usually did the best. What he was best at is he did the best interviews. Like
he did the most entertaining interviews.
Yes, because he was good on the fly. He was very good in improv.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah, he was good at making an interview entertaining for sure.
Yeah,
he was very good at that. So. And then they would try all kinds of stuff outside of the interviews, and some of it was great, some of it was weird, but the things that were great were really great.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know how we got on Conan. Oh,
yeah. The year 2000.
So we're talking about the year 2024.
Yeah, which technically is already here.
Yes, as you're listening to this.
It's just started. It's just started. 2024. And there were some changes announced for 2024. We don't exactly have a ton of info on how everything is going to work. We have a good idea.
Right.
Now. But so with that being said, starting January 9th, which I guess they gave at least a week for the holidays to be over with, basically. Guests with Park Hopper benefits or annual pass will be able to visit another theme park at any time during the park hours, which is a significant change from the 2 p.m., which felt like that was one they kept hanging on to for the longest time. They never wanted to give up. But they eventually did. Yeah. And, which, we just had to wait for... How long has the 2 p.m. thing been in effect now? It's been a long time.
Gosh.
It was over a year.
Yeah. I can't remember. But, a long time.
So, of course, that gives us some more freedom, finally.
Yeah.
There's some people that probably don't even know how this works because whenever they first started going to the parks, this wasn't even a thing. And for some people's cases, for the ones that went during the 50th.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then, so we're going the MLK week, which is right after all these changes are supposed to take place. There's still no announcement on the pre-booking lightning lanes or being able to pre-purchase, which we thought that would happen by now. So unless something changed before this episode comes out, which could happen, it seems like they're kind of holding off on that.
So there is, I guess, one good thing about as soon as everything turns over, right?
Right.
And in that even when annual pass holders are still going to have reservations.
Yeah.
At least they'll have the ability to tap in and just turn around and go somewhere else if they want.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, right. I don't know that we're going to test that out necessarily, but
what if everybody's done that? Just walk up, kind of like Jason described about Muppets with the fast pass, to burn it. Just walk up their cabin and walk away.
Boy, we
actually walk up to enter a park and then walk away.
I mean, I could, if you wanted to go somewhere else and it was sold out, which I kind of doubt that would happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
After this takes effect, of course. Maybe spring break might happen, but I highly doubt it would be that busy. Possibly, but.
Right.
For annual pass holders. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We made our park reservations, so I don't think there might be good to go days, but we already made those reservations. So
the introduction of good to go days is starting January the 11th, which you were speaking a minute ago. You don't have anything past the 11th, which is probably why.
Well, no, on the calendar it was the 17th or something.
Before what? We had a day for reservations again?
Well, yeah. As we're recording this again, I can't select anything past January 17th.
So starting on the 11th, though, is when the good to go days are starting. Yes.
Okay.
And of course, that means that those are days that pass holders, it allows them to visit them without having a reservation.
Interesting.
But there's blockout dates that still apply, so it's kind of hit or miss, right? I imagine a holiday like right around that time, MLK Day, you probably would be blocked out.
Well, we already have reservations for that weekend, so
yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna drop those or not, but that's where we're gonna go anyway, so we're not gonna cancel those plans just to find out. So
it says
we'll
guests
see.
will need to check the annual pass holder admissions calendar, which is what you were doing, to view what
Yeah.
days are good to go. As dates will be added periodically beginning on January the 11th, as availability allows. So apparently this is one of those things that when it comes to pass holders, you're not going to really know because they're going to change it as time goes on, as they see fit, really, as to what the good to go days actually are. So
yeah,
sounds like it's one of those things they've reserved the right to change on a whim,
which they always do.
Yeah. So of course, other recent improvements some of these we've talked about: complimentary self-parking at resort hotels. They took that, or should I say, they brought that back where you can park for free, right?
Yeah.
They did that last year.
Right.
They basically did that as soon as Iger came back, I think.
Yeah, I think that was early this year. Are you recapping 2023?
Well, I mean, it's just talking about other recent improvements, is what I was saying.
Yeah, and that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's kind of the only
return of the trams. That hasn't been that long.
The trams. Yes, all 4 parks now have trams, which is good, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. So all-day park hopping, that's the big one. No theme park reservations for date-based tickets.
Yep.
Dining plans. Yes. We forgot about that for a minute there. Our return of Disney dining plans.
Which,
as part of a package.
Right. Which we didn't book a package, obviously, so we don't have dining plan to test out, but we do have quite a bit of dining lined up. I don't know if we're going to change any of this, but we have several. I guess I could go ahead and preview some of them. I mean, it's the usual stuff. But
I was going to say, you haven't had any trouble with the availability because of the dining plan, right?
No, not that we've seen. I mean, we have a Topolino's, for example, Garden Grill, Via Napoli. We have a 50s Primetime. We got an Oga's, Plaza, Tusker House even. That's currently what we have. I don't know if we're going to keep all those or change anything because Jason's birthday is one of these days. So he was leaning towards, we currently have that Via Napoli, so we may or may not keep that one. Anyway, so we'll find out as the time approaches.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say there's some refurbs coming in January too, because it should be quieter.
Some of the usual ones though, right?
Yeah. The usual stuff. But I think Frozen is going to close for one day, January 24th.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Very short refurb.
Things like Collie.
Yeah, the usual
they're scheduled. Yeah. Any water rides, but then again, Splash is already down, so.
Right. Speaking of that, there's no opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure yet. But
no, however,
that'll be the big headliner this year.
Yeah. I'm not so sure they'll have it ready by summer. What do you think? I think it'll be later than that.
Yeah, it's hard to say. That one glimpse we got of it, it didn't look like it was super close to being ready. And as long as it took them to test out Tron, and open it, I would say we're probably sometime in the fall would be my guess, like at the earliest.
Maybe be ready to go by
Halloween season.
Yeah.
October-ish, maybe.
At least
maybe October 1st.
At least by the Christmas season.
Yeah.
When it says it's going to open in 2024, that could mean December 31st for all we know. It could take that long. I don't feel like it will, but based on what I'm seeing right now, I think summer would probably be a tad optimistic, but things could come along sooner than we think. But I don't think, I see it taking longer than 6 months. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Before it's ready to go. So,
yeah. And another one we haven't heard anything about, but except that it's supposed to change this year, is Country Bear Jamboree is supposed to be completely changed.
It hasn't even gone down any yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I plan to say goodbye to it this next trip just to make sure. So we're gonna go.
I want to see video footage of that. You saying goodbye.
I'm gonna have a video of me like chaining myself to the building.
We hope that you'll be coming back again. Oh,
I mean, it's funny. I'm not as upset about this one, even though I know they're gonna probably not do a great job redoing it. But at least it's the same. The characters are still here, and it's the same. It's not like they're ripping it out and putting a Toy Story puppet show for Woody's Roundup or something, which is one of those rumors.
It is unavoidable.
So change is inevitable, but at least they're keeping the characters, and they'll try to make it funny. And in the same vein, they'll just be singing Disney songs. Sounds like about bears.
Possibly.
I don't know how many bear songs.
We've heard a little bit. We've heard of Bear Necessities being involved, right? We've heard that,
of course, which is good. It's fine. I mean, anyway, we'll see how they do with it, but at least they're not gutting it, So I'm okay with that, as long as Big Al's still there and the others. I think it's okay. I mean, it's inevitable. It had to change at some point. They could always change it back if they had to. I
was gonna say, speaking of shows that have been there for a long time, however, this one's been closed for a long time.
Oh, right.
There's the new Little Mermaid show.
I know. Interesting. So they're actually going to make it look better than, 1990.
Well, I was going to say, Voyage of the Little Mermaid. I don't know what it is about that film. It's like every copy they have of it looks like crap now.
Yeah,
even on Disney Plus, it's like the only one that looks bad. It's like, did they not, at the time that they did this, did they not like think ahead to preserve this film?
Not at all. I guess it started the Renaissance, so they didn't think it would be as big of a hit.
Let's just say, example, just 2 years prior to that. I can go and look, or maybe it was a year prior to this, to Little Mermaid, I think. I can go look at the copy of Oliver and Company.
Yeah,
and it looks fine.
Right. That one does
Little
look
Mermaid
better.
doesn't look good for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't understand. Yeah,
that's a strange one. Yeah, I agree. It looks so bad.
I feel like I could go back and dig out my if I could find a VHS, I could dig up my VHS copy and pop it in, and it will look better.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think I have a VHS copy of it back here, right behind.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks about the same, right?
But anyway, I know we've talked about that before, so yeah, I think we have. I know we've discussed it. I don't know if it was on the show or not.
Actually. It is going to open this year, right? This new show.
Yes, it says it's this one actually says fall of 2024. The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure.
Okay.
Will showcase Ariel's dream to be part of the human world with new set pieces and special effects, as well as classic songs from the film. And there had to be new special effects because that was like,
oof.
Yeah. The special effects on there too were, even though that was kind of neat with the making it look you were underwater, but it was very 80s effect.
Yeah.
It's a very 80s effect. So,
right. I wonder if they will go live action or cartoon. Did they say animated, the original, or live action?
The artwork that I see still suggests that it's going to be the cartoon.
Okay.
Because it does say as well as classic songs from the film, so I'm assuming that means the original film.
Yeah. Okay.
So Star Tours is getting new scenes again.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
Yes. That's another one that's going to be happening. Not a lot of details on exactly what that is.
Yeah. They could roll that out at any time. I mean,
right?
They never, did they? Yeah, they did do Last Jedi. I remember that now. Or not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. Mm-hmm. There was that scene where because the Star Tours vehicle was in the movie, actually, at the end when all the ships were there. So that was the last update, I guess, 2019-ish, right before COVID hit, that they last did it. So what is it going to include again? Like scenes from Ahsoka and stuff? Or Mandalorian?
I don't really see any specifics, to be quite honest. Just says that there will be more stories and characters added to the classic Star Tours attraction. So I'm assuming newer ones.
It's got to be like Ahsoka and or Mando, probably.
Yeah, I don't have very specifics on that. This one's one that I don't know if it's kind of up in the air as to whether or not this will be 2024 or not, but it's a possibility. And that is the Zootopia themed attraction at Animal Kingdom. So, that's not really
tough to be a bug.
It's not really. Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah. So, because it seemed, wasn't that the one that they announced that it's tough to be a bug was going to be replaced by it, right? So that would be easier to overhaul. So,
although it would take some time, I think.
Well, the biggest part that would take would be the shooting of the film, I guess, or what have you, putting that together.
But they would have to redo.
And they have it closed. Yeah, some things, yeah.
Get rid of the animatronics for Flick and Hopper.
Or change them at least.
Yeah.
With the Flick one, you could probably just put
reskin it.
Yeah, reskin it probably. They could probably reuse it if they wanted.
Possibly.
But Hopper, even though, and he still to this day is impressive, truthfully.
Yeah, it's a good animatronic. And for sure.
Especially when you think about the fact that was first introduced in 1998.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, those were...
He doesn't break down like some.
I'm sure he has, but yeah, not as often as, the new high-tech ones, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, good
point.
The ones
that are supposed to be better.
Yeah. Kylo. Andor. Although, I gotta say... Miss Cleo doesn't break down that often.
Miss Cleo?
From Na'vi River Journey.
Oh, okay.
The shaman. I call her Miss Cleo.
I was about to say, I don't know why.
If you remember Miss Cleo, she kind of sounds like Miss Cleo.
Okay.
Anyway. That's what I call
the commercials? From the commercials in the 90s?
Yes.
Isn't she dead?
Yes, she did. But that did happen. But she kind of reminds me of Miss Cleo. Anyway. That's an impressive animatronic still, though. It really is. It's huge. And I haven't really seen that one. I've seen a screen once or twice, but I think it was just maintenance, not like it breaks down so you get B mode all the time, like Kylo or stuff like that. But anyway.
There's one thing that's never going to work again, and that's the guns in Rise.
No, never.
They're never going to move back.
Stop and back up for no reason. Yeah.
They're pretty. It looks like that's like a given that they're never going to move back and forth ever again.
Yeah, it's the Disco Yeti of Rise of the Resistance.
Pretty much, they operated for like 2 weeks.
I will be able to tell my grandkids that I saw the guns move. So, whenever
there's a lot more documentation and footage of it actually moving now compared to what it was back with Everest.
Right.
Because most guests, for years, the flashing, they probably thought the Yeti still was moving, Disco Yeti. They thought that was, that's all they ever knew. They thought that was how it worked.
That's such a cool animatronic for it to be wasted on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe one day.
I was going to go through some of the movies of 2024, but I was also reading this article about how this next year doesn't look to be a very promising year for the box office in general, yeah.
Well, the strike helped with that, right?
Right, that's, yeah.
You haven't seen the effects of that yet.
Right, I think we're going to feel it next year, mid-year probably. And it's going to be pretty dry next year. Inside Out 2 is next year. That one is probably the biggest one that I see
That's
for
one
Disney.
That I would watch because I like the first one.
Yeah. I think that one might be good. Deadpool 3 could be fairly big. But it's not one that
I don't even think I've seen 2.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen it either, to be honest.
That's not the first one.
And then this one I don't even remember hearing about, but Mufasa the Lion King. So it's supposed to be a late release next year.
It's going to be about Mufasa's story, like his life prior to Simba, maybe.
Right.
Surely it's not after the first movie.
Right. Or is this going to be, like the old, what was it, Rogue Squadron that was supposed to come out that just very quietly went away?
Speaking of which, Rogue Squadron, right? That's getting a lot of good reviews.
Right.
I haven't seen it, obviously. But
nobody's seen it because it doesn't exist.
I know.
Okay. That's why I was like, you're just doing that joke from Twitter?
Actually, I have, the game, right, from the N64. So I did see that.
I saw, and it was Rogue Squadron 2, actually, too. It was good.
If I remember right, I think the actor who played Wedge actually used his voice in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah. What was it Rogue Squadron 2 that was the GameCube game that came out? That was actually a really good game. I remember
Was it?
that.
I didn't know there was such thing as a good game on the GameCube.
Very few, but there was a couple. Luigi's Mansion, I guess.
Wasn't what was it, Monkey Ball or whatever it was?
That was one of the original. Yes. I scoffed at how easy it was in the beginning.
Although it's surprisingly entertaining game.
Yeah, it was. But again, it was one of those. Wasn't it like an arcade pull?
Kind of
one of those kind of things. Like, anyway, a lot of those originals were.
So yeah, well, what was some more films? Obviously, there's not going to be anything from Lucasfilm. What else?
So 20th Century Fox is going to have Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, The First Omen. Not sure about that one either.
That is
an Alien sequel.
Oh, I've enjoyed the majority of the Alien movies, so I would definitely give it a look. I never cared too much about the Alien and Predator ones. There's only very few of those were struck fancy, so to speak.
Yeah, so The Amateur is another one. Not sure. I'm not familiar with that one. From 20th Century Fox. Despicable Me 4 is coming out. This is targeting Universal now.
That's what I had to say. I was like, what's that got to do with Disney?
I know. I'm just talking in general.
Oh, general. Okay.
Kung Fu Panda 4 will be next year.
You know, as much as I like the Despicable Me's franchise, I think they're starting to get into that realm of please stop as well.
Oh, wow. There's a Gladiator 2 coming out next year.
What?
With Russell Crowe in it? Like, what?
What is he like?
Directed by Ridley Scott.
What is he, like 70 by now?
Follows the son of Maximus. I thought his kids was killed, right? No? Was this his wife? No?
I don't remember the movie.
He had a kid after that, but he died? Like, I don't know.
In the movie?
Yeah, he dies at the end.
Okay.
I don't know how he is. Oh, spoiler alert, sorry. This says Denzel Washington in it, Pedro Pascal, Russell Crowe, of course, and Wicked Part 1.
I could have lived without knowing that information as well.
Yeah, me too. And Wolfman. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a bad year for movies and other ones. Wow. This is rough.
And I wonder what Disney Plus is going to look like when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there's anything specific coming.
There's some news on Mandalorian Season 4. Why do they take so long before they have seasons of Mandalorian? People lose interest by the time they get in. By the time they put it out.
Spidey and His Amazing Friends. A new season of that's coming out. Oh, look at this. 5th season of Phineas and Ferb.
I guess I didn't know what number season it was on because it hasn't been on in forever.
I guess it stopped at 4 and now they're doing a new season of it.
It hasn't been on in probably a decade or more.
At least, yeah. Big City Greens, the movie, is going to premiere on Disney Channel July 1st.
That could be interesting.
A 3rd season of Mickey Mouse Funhouse.
What?
I know. I'm like, I vaguely remembered this, like a sequel to the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, this Mickey Mouse Funhouse for Disney Junior. Because of the strike, I'm sure anything with Mandalorian or whatever is probably delayed.
Yeah.
I don't see anything about that. Oh, X-Men will be released. Is that like the movies? Is that like the original ones? Echo.
Some of them are out there, but the first one, the first couple I know are not available on Disney Plus so far. But they do have some of them. I can't explain why. They actually have the old cartoon that I used to like to watch from Fox way back in the 90s. It's actually on Disney Plus. That X-Men cartoon. Do you know that?
Wow, that's kind of cool.
It's out there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Why does it say Moana will premiere on Disney Plus? It's a TV series. Series. Didn't know that was coming either.
Well, I mean, we used to enjoy, of course, this was when the kids were a little younger and there was no Disney Plus. You had to watch what was pretty much on Disney Channel, right? I don't know if you were going to watch Disney. They had the Tangled series. We actually watched that pretty good bit.
Yeah. Looks like Tiana's getting a series as well. So Moana and Tiana
So
are getting a
it's the
series.
90s all over again. Whenever Mermaid had a series and Aladdin had a series.
Pumbaa and Timon. I remember watching that on Disney Channel. I actually like that show. It's actually pretty good.
You know, I never really realized just how shorter runs most of those things had back then.
Oh man, yeah.
And then they still have short runs today because I keep thinking it's like, oh, whatever happened to Elena or whatever happened to the Lion Guard or
oh right, or like
these are more recent ones I'm thinking of, but you know what I mean? Like they usually don't have very long runs.
No, 2, 3, 4 seasons at the most. Yeah,
like you go back and look at Jake and the Neverland Pirates, they didn't have a very long run.
No, it didn't.
Stuff like that.
Even like Doc McStuffins had a longer run than most.
Yeah,
even it was.
I don't know. Does it have new episodes? I don't think it does.
I think it ended probably 5 years ago. But anyway, I don't see a whole lot there.
Yeah. See, the thing I always enjoyed about Phineas and Ferb is it's one of those type shows where the kids can get something out of it, but so can the adults because of the type of humor in it.
Right.
That's what
Big City Greens is kind of like that too. Which
exactly, yes,
reminds me a lot of that. Yeah, that's good stuff. I was looking just a few things here. I noticed that Fantasmic's supposed to reopen at Disneyland this year, May 24th.
Well, it's been
after the Dragon fire incident.
The dust.
Another thing to note is Hollywood Studios will celebrate its 35th anniversary this year, so it's kind of a milestone, I guess.
Not really. It doesn't really exist anymore.
MGM will celebrate its 35th? No.
Not at all. If there is ever, like I said before, if there's ever a park that looks absolutely nothing like it originally did, that's the one.
Hey.
It looks nothing like it originally did. Or did for the first 10, 15 years of its life, even.
You can see the Chinese theater from World Drive. Oh, sorry.
No,
that's the dolphin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I got that wrong. No, there was quite a time period there when all you could see was a sorcerer's hat.
That's true.
What's funny is some people remember that fondly. They missed the sorcerer's hat. I am not one of those.
No, I do not miss that at all.
Some people actually, because the first time they went, Epcot had the wand. They like that. I was like, it was good for what it was, but it needed to go.
Yeah.
At the time, it was okay for a special thing, just like the birthday cake was okay for a one-off.
Yeah.
But no, you don't want to keep it there permanently. But there's some people that even fondly remember that because that's when they went. They went there in the 25th anniversary.
Yeah. So, Typhoon Lagoon will be 35.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Space Mountain is going to close at Tokyo Disneyland to be completely rebuilt and will reopen in 2027.
Whoa.
It says here that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is going to open June 30th at Magic Kingdom. I did not...
June 30th? Who says this?
This is the Disney.fandom.com, the wiki thing. And I'm like, I did not heard this, but...
Well, it'd be nice, but until we hear it from Disney.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think that was officially announced, but it says here June 30th.
I've never heard it.
So we'll see if
all the stuff that we've done. So if we've missed it somewhere, if that's
right. I mean, my prediction is October 1st probably, but
like most things.
Mean, June 30th is 6 months and almost 7 months, so it's possible.
Yeah, I guess.
But that would be a really fast open, because you would think they would need several months of testing again just to make sure that. Although maybe they don't, because it's not a new ride. Maybe it's just, maybe they don't need to do as much testing.
There's a lot of stuff being replaced.
But as far as the ride structure itself, maybe they don't need to test as much. So, we'll see if that holds true.
Well, let's just take an example with Splash. What elements about the ride were frequently down? It wasn't the ride system. It was the elements inside the ride.
Yeah.
So, or it got worse over years.
They did do a lot of work to the drop, though. Like,
yeah,
you can see they rebuilt or redid a lot of that area.
I think a lot of that right there, though, part of it was just covering up where they were doing the internal stuff. They didn't want people seeing what they were doing.
Maybe, yeah.
Officially.
But it did look like they were trying to do some kind of improvements there to the bottom of the drop to where, yeah, I don't know why, but we'll see.
Now, this one is probably, it's a little risky to predict this will be complete in 2024.
Yeah.
But Epcot's transformation will finally be complete, right?
All the walls will come down finally.
I think so.
I mean, they should. The building that they tore down and just rebuilt, basically.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't take a whole other year.
Hopefully it'll be ready for the Flower and Garden Festival, but that's February, so late February.
There's always a festival of some kind.
It's not going to be ready for farts because Festival of the Arts is starting in like 2 weeks. So
yeah, it won't be fart resistant.
No, but Flower and Garden, I think February 25th or somewhere in that ballpark is possible for that. Looks like it could be possible. So maybe the first festival center will be the Flower and Garden. Are they going to move Garden Rocks over to this new area?
Maybe.
Or is that amphitheater? I feel like that amphitheater is bigger than what this new one is going to be, though. So I don't know. Anyway.
Mr. Liu Kang, tear down this wall. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Maybe it'll just be for like demonstrations, like the food and wine demonstrations and stuff they used to do. Maybe they'll do those. And whatever like Good Morning America and stuff will probably do whatever they do or whatever show. Anyway.
Have the Mongolians shown up at the wall?
Okay, now this is weird because I don't know where they think this site, obviously, I don't think they're correct on a lot of this stuff. But they're saying the Main Street Electrical Parade is going to return to Magic Kingdom.
Okay, this sounds like
it sounds like
it'd be nice. I hope it does.
That would be cool, but I don't know where they're getting this info.
Yeah.
But of course, the Polynesian DVC Tower will be done sometime this year as well.
That's right. Oh, speaking of DVC, remember the cabins at Fort Wilderness, right? They have some new rooms, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
They're going to be DVC now.
Right.
We've almost forgotten about that.
They're slowly like turning every hotel room into a DVC room.
Some of them will be dog friendly, which I thought we were on the Wilderness. I thought they all were really, but apparently they weren't.
The Treasure. Disney's Treasure.
That's right, the Treasure. But do we have a date on the Treasure?
I thought it was like December.
Like December, yeah. It's December.
December 20, like the Christmas cruise, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't you call it something? I don't know. Anyway, that'll be the first.
I'll be interested to see it. I don't know when I'll be sailing on it. I haven't even sailed on the Wish yet. It's been a long time since I've sailed anywhere.
Yeah.
So how about some what if scenarios?
Okay, let's do that.
Some people liked the days when they could pre-book FastPass.
Yeah.
And apparently there is the possibility of pre-booking Lightning Lanes in the coming year. I don't know how probable that is, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Because apparently guests in general liked that ability to plan that far ahead. I don't understand why.
Yeah. I don't hate it. The thing about the FastPass one was if you were at a resort, it was 60 days and then 30 days if you weren't staying on property or
right,
something like that. And so a lot of times I booked within 30 days. And so there was like nothing good available. You just had to wait same day and just start pulling.
Right, exactly. Because the pre-booking, I don't know what people think was so great about it because the good stuff was sold out in no time.
Yeah, you don't
booked, not sold out because they weren't priced, but they were booked in no time.
Yeah, and if somebody is coming in for a 10-day vacation before you, and they start booking up all the slinky dogs for your day before you even get a chance to, and you get a 7 p.m. slinky dog dash. That's not really going to be great to start your day with a 7 p.m. unless you're just going to stack and show up in the afternoon, which would be fine. But if you're trying to rope drop, you're not going to get anything early morning, 60 days out or whatever it was. Yeah.
And another thing with the old system, after we learned how to maneuver it, right? I think I very rarely even booked anything in advance. I
think I would always have like a placeholder. I would like grab something just to have it and then just modify it when you got there or whatever. But
because you could pull just about whatever you wanted at some point in the day.
I think even back in the day, you could modify them a day or two before because people started moving stuff around once they got within a day or so.
Just like dining.
Right. Dining, usually pops up last minute all the time. Good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable. I don't know if my hope is it's not going to be the same 60-day, 30-day thing. I would hope it's like a week, 2 weeks,
this is one thing I don't think we really need. I mean, obviously, I guess enough people have complained about it, but I don't think it's needed. It's a part of me that it's one of those things that if they had never, it's the toy that if they had never introduced it to the kid, they wouldn't cry when they take it away. Type thing. I mean, but
sure. I think the only thing that stinks about the same day thing right now is that you have to buy it and book before 7 a.m. or else you're going to start missing out on all kinds of stuff. If you could at least prepay for it, like buy it in advance, that would be
but even when you pre-did it, what did you have to do? You had to be what? Up at a certain hour? Started at a certain hour? Just not that. You still had to be up early. I mean,
so I would prefer
that part does not change.
Yeah. I would prefer it, though, if you could at least buy it in advance. Say, hey, I'm going on these days, and it's 60 days or whatever. You can buy Genie Plus and just go ahead and have it ahead of time and then just start booking when you get there. I don't know.
Let's see. Is the new cake bake shop and restaurant, right?
Boardwalk, yeah. That's where ESPN Club used to be.
Right, used to be. Yeah.
Back in the day. That's an interesting topic as well. Is somebody was asking me what's the best place to watch like a game if you're at Disney, and I was thinking, that would have been it, but I can't think of like a really good place to watch.
Rick's has a lot of TV.
You're right, yeah. But you'd have to venture over to Coronado.
Well, I mean, this was at a resort too. ESPN Club.
That's true, but it was a little easier to access. Like you could get to it from Epcot or Hollywood Studios pretty easily.
If you're talking about like there's a place in one of the parks, I mean, I don't think most people are doing that. So
yeah,
you could just pick a bar and be where the TV is.
Yeah, I would think most of the resorts have TVs in the bars or stuff like that.
So there's not like a specific. I mean, if you're like the best place to watch it, your own room.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to think of that. I'm like, I can't think of a place.
It used to be the ESPN Club. Yeah.
Yeah. That used to be like the best spot.
Probably have to go to some sports bar off property, really. I don't know which one.
Yeah. Well, if anybody out there has one, send us a message if there's your go-to spot for that, because I was just curious.
No, I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. Like I said, it used to be that. That would be the answer. It'd be the obvious answer.
Right. I guess, like you said, Rick's is kind of the one that's sports bars in the name.
Yeah, so, it's the only one that I can think of.
Did we want to mention that story about the Zootopia ride at Shanghai, the thing that happened before we close out?
Yeah, so I don't know if I remember the specifics right now, but there was an incident apparently at Shanghai in which, a child leapt out of the vehicle, from my understanding, trying to get their hat or something like that.
Yeah, it was like she had on Mickey ears or headband or something.
Yeah,
and dropped them.
Their headpiece.
And it jumped out.
Got dropped in the ride, and they went after it, essentially.
Right.
And got run over by one of the vehicles.
Yes.
which shut the ride down. Has it even reopened? I don't even remember if I saw when it reopened.
It did
Shut it down for the day.
reopen. Right. I think it reopened the next day.
Yeah, so it did shut down for just the day. Yeah.
I think it was the next day.
But I mean, talk about publicity for a brand new ride that you don't want.
Right. Yeah. It's funny how it didn't trigger a stop immediately, but I guess she didn't trip any sensors in the trackless track, whatever, by jumping out of the thing. You would think the ride vehicle would have some kind of sensor of like, hey, there's nobody in this seat anymore.
Or for stuff being in the way.
Yeah, or like, yeah, exactly. Because like I said, I've mentioned that many times. I dropped the sunglasses like near the track of Slinky Dog Dash at the load area, and it triggered a stop immediately.
You think that one, though, is cast member initiated, perhaps?
That one wasn't, because they couldn't tell what it was, and I had to do the embarrassing, like, over here is my sunglasses. And they, like, grabbed the little claw thing and picked them up.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, it triggered a sensor. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, you would think it could, but I guess with no track, there's maybe the sensors are spaced out that would, and I don't know. It just somehow happened to miss it until she got hit by the vehicle, which is kind of
And
scary.
I never really went back and looked at the extent of the injuries sustained.
Yeah, I was looking to see. I didn't see anything on that.
Yeah.
Specifically, well, but it said the child was dragged by the vehicle.
Yeah, probably because it happened
under it. Yeah, it's harder to probably get the news out of there. Yeah, it's probably harder to get.
Little bit different.
But the ride did reopen, and it did give, like a please follow the rules or whatever.
Of course.
Comply with the rules thing. But that was it. I mean, looks like it opened the next day, Christmas Day, which is funny. Anyway, what'd you think of that ride, by the way? I watched it, but I can't really remember much about it now.
Yeah, I mean, initially I thought it was very screen heavy when I saw the one that of course, this was a video that was not the complete ride at the time.
Okay. I do remember it being pretty screen heavy.
Yeah. The llama, animatronic, right, is very impressive. Shakira. Yeah. Supposed to be Shakira.
Right.
That one's actually quite impressive. Very fluid, how it moves. Overall, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe there's a part we're getting a little bit desensitized because they're doing all these this way, and it's like it's no longer something you haven't seen before, right?
Yeah.
So it's yes, we're hard to please as a whole, I guess.
Yes,
as far as theme park.
I think they did a good job of blending the screens with some animatronics and actual set pieces. I think that's the thing that I don't love about Ratatouille is there's just the one basically live action scene, or two, I guess, where you're in the pantry or under the stove. That's about it.
I think the parts about Ratatouille that I find that I like is, the big pieces on the set that make it like you're really small.
Yeah, right.
I like that part.
Right. That's my favorite scene, is going into the pantry.
Reminds me a little bit like if they'd have had a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids ride back in the day.
Yeah,
would have been
that's a good
cool.
point. That would have been neat. But it's like all of these trackless rides are very similar. You go in and out of these rooms, and you look at a screen and do different things. It's cool, but I don't know if I feel as... I don't know. There's seems to be a little something missing for me. I kind of miss like the whole Great Movie Ride, for example, where you're in all these live set pieces and you're seeing the animatronics and stuff.
Right.
I feel like that I'm missing that. Maybe it's just I'm old school and I miss like these big like sets versus like, oh, the video showing me where we are, I don't know.
You were talking about an attraction, and like, what do we think about this sort of thing? I'm a little bit, I guess at the moment, underwhelmed. Like, I don't think, like when I hear the storyline for Tiana's Bayou adventure, have you read some of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read it.
Like the backstory and stuff, I'm like, it doesn't feel like anything, doesn't feel interesting, truthfully. You know what I mean? Because of what's taken place, that they're saying's happened.
Right. I mean, I'll reserve judgment until I see that one.
Of course.
But this one, I mean, being able to watch it, it's a lot like Ratatouille, and honestly, Rise of the Resistance is very similar to that too. It's just going from one room to another, although that's less screens, even though there's screens, less screens, more big set pieces, so I think Rise is probably a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. I'm kind of like over that already.
Well, doing it, yeah. So I think I've said this before. The attraction that I've not personally been on, but I've seen videos of it that I think does a perfect job of gelling things like that together was that Secret Life of Pets ride out in Universal Hollywood. I mean, that was the perfect combination of real sets and screens. Yeah. That was gelled. That's like the quintessential modern, the way you should do one of those rides, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the Universal, especially in Florida, had a tendency there for a long time to make a ton of screen heavy attractions.
Oh yeah, they did everything with screens. I don't know. I think these, to me, they have too many points of failure, and it's obvious that they're screens. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're not as immersed to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but they're not bad. They're just not as immersive as, if they had built real sets. But I guess with screens, you can do more action that animatronics can't do. But
I got to thinking, there's one that has a good use. It has very large screens, but it also has a good use of them, in my opinion, once again, is the Pirates in Shanghai.
Yeah, that one is good. I mean, it's definitely screen heavy, but it's appropriate. It looks pretty awesome.
It's appropriate. They use the screens when necessary.
Yeah. There's a lot of animatronics too, so they and huge set pieces. So that's kind of like a Rise of the Resistance type to me, where it's like, it's a good blend of that.
It's kind of like I feel like in the Pirates movies, the first one did a much better job of mixing CGI with real sets than say Dead
World's End, or good Lord. Yeah. It was just CGI everything.
It was a little. It was a little heavy. It was a little cartoonish.
Yeah, almost. The scene where I forgot the guy's name, where he's walking down the stairs and everything's blowing up around him. It's just like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it. You love CGI. Like, that entire scene was, the only thing real in it was the guy walking down the stairs. Anyway, but whatever.
I can't think of his name.
I can't think of it either. I picture him, but anyway.
So, I don't know if I'm trying to remember if I know how to close the show now. Hello. So, if you would like to find us, you can find us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. That is all at TWTM Podcast. Mm-hmm. We have a Spreadshirt store in which you can get your exclusive TWTM merchandise, much like what I'm wearing right now, but you can't see this. You can't see me.
Oh, and there's a sale too. This it's like a 24% off sale, I think, this week to kick off the year. So remember that.
There you go. Kick off the year with 20% off and get yourself a Traveling with the Mouse t-shirt. So, or any other merchandise. We have a YouTube channel as well, and there's links to that and more. Where, Adam?
Our website, which is travelingwiththemouse.com. And we have an email address, podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. We also have a travel agent friend on our website. You can find links to that there as well.
So for Adam, my name is John. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.
Into the future. The future, Conan?
The future.